One of the most powerful resources and tools for teachers are the Interim Connections playlists, commonly referred to as playlists. Playlists are designed to support teachers in preparing students for life after high school. This video will walk through 3 different scenarios of how educators can use playlists to support teaching and learning. But first, let's dive a little deeper and explore what an Interim Connections playlist is. Think of it like a music playlist, which might be created for an activity like studying, cleaning, or running. Or maybe your playlist is organized by a specific genre, like country, rock, or hip-hop. Each music playlist represents a collection of related songs. There are about 20 playlists for each grade level, approximately 10 for ELA and 10 for math. There is one Smarter Balanced Interim assessment connected to each playlist. Each playlist provides the knowledge and skills students need to achieve within a block of grade-level content. These are called topics. The playlist expands on each topic by describing what students are likely to know and be able to do at 3 performance categories: below, near, and above the grade level standard. These progressions can help teachers easily identify where students are at in their learning process and how they can progress to the next level. In addition, each topic has an instructional lesson that was specifically developed to help students achieve the knowledge and skills within the topic. Interim assessment blocks and Interim Connections playlists certainly sound similar. Remember, interim assessment blocks, or IABs, are used throughout the year to assess sets of related concepts. Interim Connections playlists help support teachers' use of interim assessment blocks. Now that we have a general understanding of what an Interim Connections playlist is, let's look at our first scenario. A 3rd grade teacher is teaching a unit on geometry and notices that his students are struggling with quadrilaterals. He types quadrilateral in the Tools for Teachers search box and finds the playlist for Grade 3 Geometry. He reviews the topics: partitioning shapes, reasoning about quadrilaterals, and categories of shapes. The student performance progressions provide a description of what students know and can do at 3 possible performance categories: below, near, or above the grade level standard. As he reviews the progression statements, specifically for categories of shapes, he recognizes the majority of his students would benefit from more time focused on the concept that shared attributes can define a larger category of shapes. He reviews the instructional lessons for this topic to help him scaffold additional instruction and decides to use the Sorting Shapes resource with his students. In the second scenario, a 6th grade English Language Arts team is planning for their next unit. They explore what's available in Tools for Teachers by filtering for a Connections playlist, searching for Grade 6 English Language Arts, and scan the available Interim Connections playlists. Then they take a closer look at the Research, Evaluate Information and Sources playlist. Being new to interims and playlists, they also look at the outline on the left and start by reviewing the IAB background, which provides a description of the interim assessment connected to the playlist, why this content is important for students to learn, and the academic vocabulary that students should know. Next, they watch the video, Understanding the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessments. The team decides that the Research, Evaluate Information and Sources interim is a great tool to understand what students learn during the unit, so they set a date to administer it. After administering the interim assessment, the team reviews their student data in their reporting system. They agree that most students need additional support with selecting relevant sources for informational research. The team plans to use the Is This Relevant instructional resource linked in the playlist. Using this resource, The teachers can differentiate their instruction to meet the academic needs of their students. In the third scenario, an 8th grade math teacher just administered the Expressions and Equations 1 interim and discovered that many students scored below grade level. She reviews the performance progression in the playlist. With this information and her classroom observation notes, she determines that students are struggling with solving systems of linear equations. There are multiple topics in the playlist that relate to analyzing and solving linear equations. The teacher decides to use 3 of the available instructional resources during the next few days to reteach the content. To understand whether the selected lessons were effective, she administers the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessment block again in a non-standardized way by assigning students to work in pairs on specific items. She observes students as they work in pairs. The data shows that each pair of students can solve systems of linear equations and that the additional lessons were successful. To start using the Interim Connections playlist with the Tools for Teachers instructional resources and Smarter Balanced Interim Assessment blocks, educators can log in through their assessment portal or directly from the website at www.smartertoolsforteachers.org. If you're in a Smarter Balanced member state or territory and you do not yet have access, contact your district assessment coordinator and set up your account. Visit Tools for Teachers today to discover the ways you can use Interim Connections playlists to support your instructional needs.